Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the life of Alfred Nobel. You know, the Swedish chemist, the industrialist. His name is just synonymous with heavy industry, isn't it?
It really is.
Hmm.
And we're not just go through the dates here. We really want to unpack the man himself, how he went from, well, real hardship to being this global powerhouse.
Right.
To figure out what lessons, maybe instructions he kind of left behind about using knowledge, using wealth.
Yeah, because to get the full picture, you really have to start with those early struggles. He was born in Stockholm, 1833, and his family had it rough after his father, Emmanuel, went bankrupt.
Seriously rough.
Yeah.
They moved to Saint Petersburg in Russia around 1842.
Yeah.
And before that, Alfred was actually, helping his mom sell matches just to get by.
Wow.
But Russia, that turned out to be crucial. That's where he got his education, properly trained as a chemist, the foundation for everything else, really.
And he picks up languages too, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Became fluent in 5. Swedish, Russian, English, French, German. Think about that. I mean, what an advantage for someone who'd end up running a global business.
Yep.
It really set the stage.
So his main work, the thing he's most famous for, invention-wise, was taming nitroglycerin, right? He learned about it from the guy who discovered it, so Burrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobel saw the potential in this incredibly volatile stuff. He thought, if I can just make this safe, it could change everything in engineering.
But making it safe, that came at a terrible price.
It really did. A personal tragedy, actually. In 1864, his younger brother, Emil, just 21, and 4 others died in an explosion at their experimental factory in Helleborg.
Oh, devastating.
Completely. And you have to think that kind of personal loss just intensified his drive to find a safer solution. It wasn't just an industrial problem anymore.
And he did find it pretty quickly after that. Got the patent for the detonator, the blasting cap in Sweden in *64, but the real game changer was dynamite, patented in 1867.
That was it. He figured out how to stabilize the nitroglycerin by mixing it with kieselguhr.
Diatomaceous earth.
Right. Basically, this absorbent earth turned the liquid into a stable paste. Suddenly, you could handle it, transport it safely.
And the impact was enormous.
Just astonishing. Dynamite revolutionized construction, mining. Think about massive projects like the St. Gothard Tunnel through the Alps. Dynamite saved years of work, millions in costs. It just made things possible that weren't before.
And Nobel himself, he ended up with something like, 350 patents?
Over 350, yeah. And by the time he died in 1896, he wasn't just an inventor. He was running 93 factories across 20 countries.
93 factories. They called him Europe's richest vagabond. A vagabond. I mean, it suggests he was constantly on the move, managing this huge decentralized network.
He definitely wasn't just sitting in one place.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is this industrial giant also had this deep inner life. He wasn't just about chemicals. He wrote poetry, even a play, Nemesis.
A historical tragedy, right. And that interest in literature, in arts, it shows up later.
It absolutely does. It feeds directly into his ultimate legacy, the Nobel Prize. When he wrote his will in 1895, he didn't just focus on science.
No, he was very specific. He wanted his huge fortune used to create prizes, 5 equal parts, for people who gave the greatest benefit on mankind.
Right. Physics, chemistry, medicine, or physiology.
Then literature, there's his artistic side again. And maybe the most surprising one, peace.
And that Peace Prize. There's a strong connection there to his friendship with Countess Bertha later von Suttner. She was a major peace advocate in Austria.
Yeah, her views really influenced him, didn't they? She even won the Peace Prize herself later on, in 1905.
She did. It shows how his personal connections shaped his final act, how he wanted his immense wealth to be used.
So, looking back at all this, what's the takeaway for us today? Is there a maxim, a core principle from Nobel?
Well, the closest thing is probably the logic behind his will itself. He deliberately left his relatives only a pretty small part of his fortune.
Why was that?
He believed that large inherited fortunes basically just bred laziness. His word in Swedish was underblåser. It fuels idleness.
So the lesson there is knowledge, wealth, they shouldn't just be passed down or hoarded. They need to be used, applied for humanity.
Exactly. They need to be active. But here's the interesting twist, right? If he thought inherited fortunes made people lazy, why set up one of the biggest perpetual endowments ever?
That's a great point. It seems like a contradiction.
Maybe not entirely. You could argue the foundation's capital is perpetual, yes, but the prizes, the money it gives out each year, demand active, ongoing achievement. The money rewards current contributions to humanity, not just sitting on an inheritance.
Okay. So it forces a continuous positive application of that wealth. It's not passive accumulation.
Precisely. His life shows, great things can come after failure and loss.
Hmm.
And that ultimately, maybe success finds its highest purpose when it's directed towards benefiting others.
It leaves you with this powerful paradox, doesn't it? The man whose invention became key to modern warfare, dedicating that same fortune to rewarding peace and human progress. Which legacy really resonates more today? The destructive inventor or the focused philanthropist? Something to think about.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Alfred Nobel's complicated life.